Hi, I'm Beth Strathman. Welcome back to my channel. Carl Jung is famous for saying, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. In other words, until we deal with unresolved issues within us, we will project those issues out into the world where we'll watch them play out until we deal with them through some personal growth and self-development. So it's no wonder that we're experiencing this chaotic, uncertain time in our lives and in our history. It's all a reflection of unresolved issues at a personal level and at a societal level that's playing out in front of us. This chaos and uncertainty is here to remind us that the world is constantly in a state of flux. The world is constantly going through cycles of destruction and renewal, and we're a part of that. Creation is not a one and done kind of a thing. Creation isn't something that just happened millennia ago, or millions of years ago, or billions of years ago. It's an ongoing process. And as humans, during our lives, we experience that creation and destruction of things because things are always changing. Again, at a personal level and a societal level. So that chaos that we experience is really a reflection of ourselves and the society that we've built. And it's here to teach us something. It's here to allow us to look at what we've created and to really reflect on it and decide if this is truly what we want. But in order to do that, we have to be willing to look beyond what's happening in front of our eyes and see beneath it the deeper truths and eternal principles at play. Now, some people believe that the apocalypse is upon us. And by that, they interpret the apocalypse as the end of the world. But they misinterpret that word. Our word apocalypse comes from a Greek word apocalypsis, which meant to reveal, to disclose, to uncover. So in a chaotic, uncertain time like we're living through today, we have a chance to look to see what will be revealed out of all the churning and chaos that's going on. And we can make sense of it if we're brave enough to do so. So rather than being afraid of these chaotic times, I suggest we are more vigilant and introspective and looking at, again, what we've created both personally and in our society, and open ourselves up to the truth of what we've created and what we may have ignored up till now. If we do so, we might be able to address the underlying issues of all this chaos that's going on. For example, issues in our economic system, such as pay chasms between what men and women are paid, between what frontline workers and executives are paid. Perhaps all that chaos and all of that uncertainty is there to make us ask what we really value and how we measure what we value. It gives us a chance to look at global conflicts around the world that disrupt the lives of millions and even interfere with food distribution around the world. And it asks us, I think, to consider how we use power and how we provide for peace. We can look at cyber attacks and social media, for example, as a way to really question how we manage the use of technology. With all the chaos, we can see there is sea level rise, there are temperature increases, there are more frequent and severe weather events, there are shifting habitats for plants and animals. Plants and trees bloom earlier than they used to. All of this should cause us to question our relationship with the natural world and the damage humans have caused through extraction and exploitation of nature for power and for profit. We can also look at various issues in our society that bring up the question of equality, liberty, and justice. And what exactly do we mean by those words, and for whom? The temptation during these times of chaos and uncertainty is to blame somebody else for them and to sit around and wait for somebody else to solve the problem. But that's not going to get it done. Productive change doesn't magically happen out of the blue. Einstein was famous for saying that no problem can be solved by the same level of thinking that created it. Thus, we know that the same old thinking and the same old values that created our current situation are not going to be able to right the wrongs, to get it back on the right track. And the truth is that no single individual can clean up this mess. It's going to take each and every one of us doing what we can to get back on track and live according to the principles and the values that we believe in. It will take a collaborative effort to help us solve all the crises that we find ourselves in. That means each of us need to become a better version of who we are currently. When we do that, this will begin to reverse the situation that we find ourselves in. Stories from ancient cultures teach us that when we connect with the truth of who we are and what we're meant to do and who we're meant to be, that we do our part to recreate a new world. And person by person, this new world will better reflect what we collectively intend now and for generations to come. The ancient Irish had an idea that when the center cannot hold, then that's the time when each individual needs to go inward and find their own inner genius, their own inner talent that they can contribute to the world and create a new center for society. And we find those aspects of ourselves in the darkest corners of ourselves, on the brink of despair, and at the edges of the unknown. This is where we find the trailing edge of our own thread that connects us to life. And when we find that trailing edge, we can grab onto it and bring it back to into the center, and reweave the world the way we want it to be. The world that we knew is already gone. The point is now to step into a bigger life, into a bigger sense of ourselves. It requires us to change and to become more expansive thinkers and doers, not smaller people. To reconnect to the center of our culture, to create this change, requires each of us to live primarily from our authentic selves, to let go of pieces of our egos, to shed old learning and conditioning, old beliefs and behaviors that aren't working for us anymore, and to reconnect with our best and most authentic selves. So the big questions for each of us are, how do we create meaningful change in our own lives and subsequently in the world around us? What is, for each of us, our greatest and most expansive destiny? What behaviors and beliefs do we need to let go of so that we can become more authentically ourselves? If you find the answers to these questions, then you'll do your part to heal the world. And in this time of chaos and uncertainty, this is the perfect time to do that. The time is now.